What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss what's going on here in our country with our economy, with the stock market and inflation, everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to subscribe down below right now so you don't miss out on new videos because the economy, the stock market, everything is crashing right now. We're officially in bear market territory, and it's not just the stock market, it's really the most of the economy. And this is really kind of crazy, especially that the unemployment numbers you can see are dramatically low here. In fact, we're near a 50-year low on unemployment numbers and on the unemployment rate, 3.6%. So you would think our economy would be booming. According to the unemployment rate, it should be. 3.5% is the 50-year low, and we're at 3.6%. And you can see how much higher it was here when the pandemic hit and the country kind of had the temporary shutdown. We were at 14.7%. Yikes. You can also see here when we had our last kind of major recession here in 2008, 2009, we had the height of that at 10%. 10% back in October 2009. So we're literally about a third of that at 3.6%. So millions of people have gone back to work here now. And this is part of the reason why the federal government and all these, and every single state pretty much, is taking in tons of extra money because people have gone back to work. Sales taxes are up, IRS revenue is up. President Biden says that the federal government is going to be able to pay down at least $1.5 trillion of the federal deficit. Yeah, in fact, they said maybe it will be even more, as high as $1.7 trillion in the federal deficit they're going to be able to pay down. So you would think business is booming, yet the stock market is completely crashing. The S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, even cryptocurrency. You can see this headline here: Bitcoin and Ethereum crash over 70% from peaks. Crypto investors lose over $2 trillion in 8 months. Yikes. Yeah, you can see here, billionaire investor Leon Cooperman predicts U.S. stocks will plunge 40% in total as the economy crashes into a recession. This is people's retirement funds here, guys. 401ks, pensions. Pensions are invested in stocks, in the market. They don't just sit there in cash. They wouldn't grow. Over time, they would literally just lose money due to inflation. And you might be thinking, well, Jimmy, they're losing money now in the stock market. Well, yeah, you'd be right there too as well. But last year, the S&P 500, the S&P 500 is basically the top 500 companies in the United States based on their sales, their gross sales and profits. The S&P 500 last year returned about 26 or 27%. Now it's just basically kind of giving it back because we've had some extraordinary years for several years in a row. I mean, you got to think last year was kind of the height of the pandemic, 2020, 2021. Really, we shouldn't have had 27% growth in the stock market. Remember, the stock market is a reflection of the economy. Okay. And the reason by and large, one of the main reasons that the economy and the stock market are faltering right now is inflation and part of the war. And I think that there's also think that well, as you can see right here from this headline, a financial research firm said that there is a 10% chance of a nuclear apocalypse this year. Even if it's not a quote nuclear apocalypse, and recommends investors stay bullish on stocks even as the threat looms. Well, the problem is that even if Russia, wow, just even reading that is kind of shakes you to the bone, right? Even if Russia used a nuke, any type of nuclear weapon, only on Ukraine, it would send stock markets around the world plummeting. Even if it was just one time, only in Ukraine, nowhere else in the world, it would literally send a global collapse. How big, I don't know, but it would. And then what would the reaction for the rest of the world be? Would it be a start to World War III? Like I said, we're a global economy here, guys. Everything is connected. We're seeing gas prices are high all around the world. In fact, the U.S. Gas prices are much higher all around the world. Much of Europe, gas prices are $7, $8 a gallon. If you equate it to U.S. dollars and U.S. gallons, if you've been watching my show, you know that because I've shown it to you. And inflation is pretty much around the same levels all around the world at 30, 40 years high. We're a global economy. This is pretty much going on all around the world. The one main question here is, how long will this last? Well, it's hard to kind of predict, but let's look at history. What does history say? How long will a recession like this? See, the thing is that we're already in. Most people think, a lot of economists think that we're going back into another recession. Maybe we already are. The problem is that even though the government's taking in a lot of money, billions and trillions of dollars, because people have gone back to work, unemployment is really low, that's normally the sign of a good economy. The problem we're having is that inflation is so high, it's actually triggering a new recession. This is part of the reason why, one of the main reasons why, our stock market is collapsing right now. And remember, about 50%, somewhere around 50% of adults have money in the stock market. Then the stock market is just a reflection of how our economy is doing. It's pretty much forward thinking, it's looking into the future. And our future is saying inflation is crazy right now. So, how long is this recession going to last? How long are these gas prices going to last? How long is this extremely high food prices going to last? Well, let's look at some data. How long does the average bear market last? The S&P 500 has already entered the bear market. In fact, it did it on June 13th when the S&P 500 was down 21% from its high on January 3rd. So the top 500 companies in the United States, which is really just a reflection of our economy, is already down 21%. So really, we're already kind of in a recession. And different people have different ideas of what a recession is, but by and large, we're probably already in a recession. Yeah. And the NASDAQ has already been in a bear market since March, all the way since March. Yeah, so I think it's probably safe to say we're already in a recession. Now, bear markets have a long history with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, which is mostly tech companies, and the Dow Jones, which has been around for a long time as well. And they have returned a result of economic turmoil caused by inflation and rising interest rates, which the Fed is raising interest rates right now multiple times and will continue to do so, making people pay more money on their interest as well. But it's one of the only things we can do to help curb inflation. High gasoline prices and the fallout from the war in Ukraine. Some bear markets have occurred during recessions with a decline in the GDP and high unemployment. This time we have low unemployment, which is kind of an anomaly. The S&P's previous bear market was also its shortest one, lasting only 1 month from February 2020 to March 2020, when it fell 34%, to give you guys an idea. Now remember, the S&P is already down 20%. The NASDAQ, which has already entered the bear market 3 months ago, on March 7th, when it had declined 20% from its high of 16,057 on November 19th, which is mostly tech stocks, has fallen 32% already below its high. The Dow Jones Index, which are mostly blue chip staple stocks, is down 17% already from its high on January 4th. Now, bear markets can last a varying amount of time. This is a reflection on our economy as well. This will give you an idea of how long it could last. Bear market is defined when an index declines 20%. Remember, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are already in bear market territory. The Dow is not quite there, but the Dow is only a collection of a few companies, okay? The shortest bear market on record since 1928 was in 2020 to, only for a month, and that was 33 days. So can't count that one very much. But what is interesting here about that is back in 2020, guys, 2020, and that was the start of federal stimulus packages, federal stimulus. And if anybody recalls anything about the reason the market bounced back so quickly back in March of 2020, in fact, I'll show you. We look at a Dow Jones 5-year chart here. You can see here back in 2020 here, the Dow Jones index went from about 29,400 and down to all the way down to 19,000 roughly here. Very, very quickly because, well, the country was shutting down. Literally, it was the first time ever. Nobody had ever experienced anything like this. A virus was coming, and we were like, oh my God, what do we do? We're shutting the country down. The sky was falling. We had no idea. It was literally, it was like Chicken Little. Who knows what was going to happen? Even I was panicking because we had literally no idea what was going to happen. Okay. But then federal stimulus packages, stimulus checks came, unemployment checks came, and paycheck protection program checks came, rent assistance came. The Fed literally threw everything and the kitchen sink. They just took it all and said trillions of dollars at everything. Okay, and they started bond buying stimulus as well, and continued that till literally like only a month or two ago. Okay, so and here's the thing: is that worked. That worked. You can see here. Look at how quickly the stock market recovered. They gained back about 50% of their losses here in a matter of days. In a matter of days. And in a matter of a few more days, they had gained back 75% of their losses. And history will show you here, you can just see the chart here, it was not long until all the gains or all the losses were back, and then it just went on to new highs. In fact, we were at 29,400, and it wasn't long until we were at, look at this, 30,000, 31,000, 32,000, 33,000, 34,000, 35,000, 36,000. Okay? Now we have dropped down to 30,000. So if history shows you anything, well, what did we learn from that quick history lesson there? A couple things. One, stimulus packages work for our economy. The country literally shut down. Thousands, if not who knows how many businesses, small businesses especially, went out of business. millions of people lost their jobs. Okay. If it weren't for the modern day stimulus package, stimulus checks, paycheck protection program, rent assistance, mortgage forbearance, all these different things, we would have literally had a modern day Great Depression. We would have gone all the way back to 1929. I mean, you've seen how quickly the stock market was dropping, and the bottom would have fell out of it even more so. And remember that over 50% of adults have money in the markets today. These are people's retirement funds, people's pensions, people's 401ks, but even more so that people's jobs are connected to stock markets nowadays. When big companies start to fail, the first thing they do is they lay off people. Okay. So when big companies start to fail, millions of jobs get lost. Okay. The government doesn't step in there in March, April 2020, millions more people lose their jobs. Okay. Millions more people lose their jobs. They lose their homes. They lose their retirement. Things just get exponentially worse if the government doesn't step in. Remember, this is back in 2020 underneath former President Donald Trump. Okay. And the rest is history. Literally everything recovers. It takes some time. The virus is still here, but the economy recovered. Now we have inflation. Inflation is everywhere around the world. You look at every single country around the world, they're all dealing with inflation. Inflation is actually a natural part of a recovery of literally you can just go study recessions. When you come out of a recession, it's natural because when you're in the recession, at the bottom part, there's almost no inflation at all. Sometimes inflation actually goes negative. So you're actually making up for the negative or the 0% of inflation that you had. So how long will this last? Well, as you can see here, the S&P has had much longer bear markets before. Back in 2008, most people remember that one. That bear market was 408 days. Yeah, you can see here, and the stock market index S&P 500 fell almost 52% from 2007 to 2008. The longest S&P bear market ever stretched in 1973 to January 1973 to October 1974, amounting to 631 days or 21 months when the index fell over 48%. Not surprising, the S&P 500 had 10 bear markets in the Great Depression of the 1930s. The average length of the S&P 500 bear market is about 268 days, or about 8.8 months. So there's some data for you. Based on the S&P 500 numbers, we just entered bear market territory. Based on NASDAQ numbers, we've been in a recession or bear market since March. Now, how long inflation is going to last, or extraordinary inflation, your guess is as good as mine. I would guess at least until the end of this year. What to do with stocks, I'll keep you up to date here. Yeah, make sure to subscribe to our channel. I'll definitely be talking about this here going forward. If you haven't subscribed here, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And make sure you click the bell icon after you subscribe so you get notifications when we go live with new videos. Also, I have a video here about $2,400 raises coming out for Social Security and retirement funds here. And also, here's my new video about stimulus checks coming out to over 10 states that have already passed them that you might not even know about. Yeah, that's a thing, and they're going out right now. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.